I enjoy the whole process of the antique restoration, because in taking a spent piece of old antique furniture or a light fitting and stripping it down and cleaning it and repairing it and putting it back together, you get a sense of the guys that made it and how they put it together and how it works. The satisfaction then is seeing if it back up and someone will love that piece again, and that's very rewarding. This is an old Sug light. This was a gas light, an old gas street light, and when I got it originally, it looked like it looked like this. So after a bit of cleaning and polishing, I worked 30 years in security, and I had a good career. Like it was enjoyable, and I achieved some great. I had great achievements during that career. The biggest thing was putting the cameras into Croke Park Stadium when it was built. I was very proud of that. Career was doing extremely well, and in boom times, it got difficult because I was suffering from depression and anxiety, and probably because of that, I was drinking too much. I was finding it difficult to cope. And my dad was dying back in 2012, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Give up the drink for a month, get over your dad's illness." And he passed away within 4 days, and the month went on, and I stayed off the drink. I just thought it was a better way to be, no hangovers and feeling better about yourself. And I suppose it would have been around that time I took up restoration and of antiques and buying antiques and collecting, and I always like pulling something asunder back to how it was made and putting it back together in a restored state. I just think it's very rewarding. The first phone box I got in 2016, and I wasn't good. I wasn't in a good place at the time, and thanks to Mary to support me to buy that, because it was nearly €1,000.
It was going to keep him busy, and at the time, you know, it was just something he was interested in. He went through a bit of a bad patch, and just found this love of antique. It kind of just grew.
And I spent a couple of months in the front garden working on that phone box. The amount of people that would stop and talk to you and tell you their experiences of the phone boxes. Anyone of an age will get the phone box, will know what it's about, and will have memories of it. For people to take an interest in what you're doing makes you feel that you're doing something that's worthwhile, and that really was part of it. That was a healing process for me. The phone box certainly was, because it was a long process. I have no side entrance, so I can't bring the phone boxes to my back garden, so I work on them outside. My house is known. The taxi men tell me, every taxi man in Dublin knows my house on Collins Avenue. They get their directions past the phone box or this side of the phone box. Hey guys, I'm putting on the last door now. The hinges are fitted. These are plumb. My daughter Sarah, who obviously was on Instagram, because most young people are on Instagram, she got me onto it because she said what I'm doing was interesting and I should be putting it out there. She set me up as at Phoneboxman.
Well, my dad does a lot of projects around the house, and he does all sorts of mad stuff, so I thought it was a good idea for people to see what he was doing, because people seemed interested in what he was doing. People were always asking me, and so I set up an Instagram account for him, and I was logging all of the work that he was doing over time, like the floors in the kitchen and the floors everywhere. And I just kept telling him, keep filming everything.
I put up my projects up, and people are enjoying them, and they're learning from it. And people come asking me questions, and how do you do this, how do you do that? And I put up my disasters as well, but it's not all perfect. I'm a bit of bother. It's fine, this is all okay.
What he's doing now seems more like him. He's a messer. He loves messing and has so much more energy now, and he enjoys what he's doing.
I decided to start the business because of the positive, the enjoyment I suppose I get, number one, out of the work and what I do, and the positive reaction. The Kilmeague Tidy Town Committee are my first customer, and it was when they came down and inquired about getting the phone box that I decided that this was enough for me to take the plunge and set up the company. And I think that the pandemic, I think, is something we're going to get over. It's a dreadful thing, and we get over it by being positive. Today's the day the phone box is going to Kilmeague, so I'll miss it, but it's going to a nice spot. Oh, slow down there now. The moving and transporting it is nerve-wracking, because there's a lot of work gone into it, and it could go. I hope they know what they're doing. And I know I've heard the stories, people moving them, and they just haven't, it hasn't worked for them because they haven't treated them with the respect they need because it's concrete and it's brittle, and one knock, one bang, and it'll just crumble into 1,000 pieces.
Okay, looks good. Fair play!
Well, the phone box here was a very vocal part of the village back in the 70s and 80s and the early 90s. And it was a lovely thing to view coming into the village or coming up the hill. And we just said we'd try and get one back to keep it in with the homely look of the village. The phone box is going to be used for a defibrillator, and it'll be there for everyone's use. Hopefully they won't need it, but it'll be there for everyone's use. And that's the reason why we have the phone box back as well. It's a nice focal point in the village, so it'll be easy accessible to everybody.
Oh, it's brilliant to see it after all those years gone. It's the same now as if it was never moved out of it. It looks the very same. Same one looks the very same.
So my mother used to say I used to take things apart but never put them together. But I got to putting them back together later on in life.